Hello, Tiger fans. Thanks for tuning in for a new week of Tiger Timeout here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton here in the studio with you as we take a look around Tiger and Lady Tiger basketball. We start with the women's program. They go 1-1 this past weekend at home against Freed Hardeman. Thursday they fall, and then Saturday pick up a road win over Cumberland University. The head coach, Ginger Colvin, joins me. And Coach, we talked about this postgame against Cumberland University, and when you are in the midst of the run that the Lady Tigers have been on, it's hard to see it from the 30,000-foot view, right? You're just in the moment, and, you know, the success sometimes you can be a prisoner of it.
Yeah.
We go back and look, 9 years since the Lady Tigers had a losing streak.
Yeah.
That's impossible. I don't know how many teams across the country can say that at any level.
Yeah.
Freed got you on Thursday at the Powell, and I know Lauren was a little nicked up, got dinged early in the game. You kind of battled that 6 to 8 point deficit, tried to get close a couple times, but Freed did a really good job defensively, I felt like.
I did too. I think Freed's probably the hottest team in the league right now. They're playing extremely well, and they finish up at home, but they played well against us and really spread it out. And with Lauren, hindsight's 20/20, of course. If I had known she was as dinged up as she was, we would have taken our lumps, which we went ahead and took our lumps anyway, but we would have sat her out. But you know, she's a player, and she wants to get out there and she wants to battle, and she did. She just wasn't near as effective as she's normally been, and she's so important to what we do. But you know, it's hard to wrap your mind around the fact that their league is so good. And you know, you get I told you, Kobe said, you know, you're on a losing streak right now, and I know how hard our league is. I know how tough it is. I know what we're going up against every night. So it really didn't affect me, I think, the way it did a lot of other people. And, you know, people talking about, you know, what's going on, and nothing's going on. We're playing really good teams right now. And but, yeah, that's something to be proud of and to be a part of. It's really nice to sit back and think about it. You do a good job keeping up with that stuff, like you say, in the heat of the moment, or when things are going on. I don't know how many we've got in a row. I don't know how many we've got against our opponents, and sometimes it's pretty neat to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, well, I mean, you kind of ask the question, and then the next thing I think about is I can't bring that up until the losing streak is over, and you did a good job on Saturday to end that. And, you know, again, I told you early in the year, after you lost all that you lost, you talk about the graduations or those that were out of eligibility, and then Elizabeth Bertram, you know, she kind of decides that she's ready to move on with life as well. And I know you got them back Thursday and were able to recognize them, but when you lose all that you lose, and to be sitting here over 20 wins, just 2 losses, and that stretch of games coming against 5 top 10 or top 15 teams, it's really unheard of. And no other team in the nation is going to say they've played in a 5-game stretch or a 6-game stretch 5 top 15 teams. The Mid-South Conference is going to have about 4 or 5 teams that can say that, which is crazy.
Yeah, and you and I were talking off air about the poll, and it's not something I take a lot of stock in. I'm a Raider, so I do know I keep up with it, but I was a little frustrated that we dropped. Not that it's a big deal, but it is a big deal because we base our national tournament system on RPI now, and the RPI in the Mid-South it's insane. The way it shakes out and the way our league is with the RPI and strength of schedule, and I think we have 1, 2, and 3 in the strength of schedule, and maybe 1, 2, and 3 in the RPI as well. So it is a tough conference right now, and it doesn't get any easier.
And you and I were talking about the RPI this week. If memories, was it 7 or 8 of the top 11 or 12 were from that arc?
Yes, the 4 conferences that we combined. I think it was out of the top 11, 7 or 8, yeah.
So you add Indiana Wesleyan, St. Francis, and I think Marion into the Mid-South teams, and that's of the entire country. The RPI favored, you know, very heavily with this region. So impressive stuff. And let's talk quickly about the win over Cumberland University. You go to Lebanon, Tennessee. Lauren Lee unavailable. You and I had a text conversation. I said it'd be a nice day for Paige to bust through, and she's been on the cusp here and there. What a day she had, 18 points. She had a couple big shots in the second half when Cumberland would make a run. a 9-point win for you without Lauren Lee. Whitney Hay chipped in 17. Tyra Flowers had 10 and 7. And maybe the most impressive number of the entire game, not pictured there, Hallie Allen, 37 minutes played. She got the Lauren Lee, Leanne Greider treatment, did Hallie, and she did a pretty good job despite what you may have told her a time or two throughout the game.
Yeah, I was pretty hard on her on a couple lazy passes, and I didn't realize till I had the sheet in front of me that she played 37 minutes. But she's going to have to toughen up and get these next two, or whatever, how long we're out without Lauren. But, yeah, she handled it well, and we moved our starting lineup around a little bit. We brought Talon out because Talon handles the ball like a guard, and we felt like putting her out there. We put Maddie out of the lineup just because we needed more handlers without Lauren on the floor, and we'll probably continue to do that until we can get back where we have it. And so, we'll figure a way out. We'll compete. We'll, we definitely want these next two or these next three. We don't want to look too far ahead, but I always think of it in terms of the week, and we have a big week for sure with Bethel and Georgetown. But Cumberland U is no joke. Cumberland U and Lindsay, I think, would be in probably the top half of most leagues. Lindsay Wilson proved that this week by going to Georgetown and winning at Georgetown. Cumberland U has played a lot of teams close, just haven't been able to get over that hump, but I thought they played extremely well against us Saturday.
And Monday, that game with Georgetown, they went to the fourth quarter. It was like a 3, 4, 5-point game. Yeah. Georgetown gapped them big in the fourth, but Cumberland was toe-to-toe with them for most of that contest. We'll step away here. We'll take a look ahead at Bethel tomorrow evening, and Georgetown is a pair of top 25. Stop me if you've heard that before. Await Campbellsville this weekend. Stay with us here on Tiger Timeout.
I debate all day. It's what I do. But there are some things that are undebatable, like your mental health. I was in a dark place when my brother passed away in a car accident. I was depressed in ways I never imagined. I reached out, and my sisters came, my pastor, my therapist. They helped me get through it. I found that the more I spoke up, the healthier my mind became. When you love your mind, you can go so much further. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Welcome back to Tiger Timeout here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Thanks for joining us tonight, whether that's through our YouTube platform on Claw United, 88.7 The Tiger, or local cable as we take a look at the weekend ahead for the Lady Tigers. Campbellsville has just 3 regular season games left. Senior Day awaits next week, but this Thursday in the Powell Center, Bethel and the Wildcats will visit. And Coach, that's a good pal of yours, Chris Nelson. It's a Bethel team that's been playing some terrific basketball. They have had a bit of a rough time in league play in spots. And Freed Hardeman, you mentioned, one of the top teams in the country right now and the way that they're playing. They went to Bethel last weekend and got a big win. And I know Chris Nelson will come here with a hungry batch of kitty cats.
Yeah, he's told me they're ready to roll, and I think they are hungry. One of the most talented teams in the league by far, and they'll be ready to go. They're a hard guard. They've got so much talent. I think them and Georgetown are probably 2 of the quickest transition teams we've gone up against ever. And we've got to really make sure we can get out and contain. And with their numbers being a little bit lower, we've got to do a really good job. So we've just got to grit it up and go.
And he's got a terrific tandem in Micah and Madison Hart. And you did a pretty good job on Micah at their place. Madison had a wonderful game. I think actually ended up, even in a loss, ended up getting Conference Player of the Week on the offensive side that week. And you know what those two are capable of. you throw in a Mickey Buchanan, and he's got a terrific freshman point guard.
Yes.
He's got a lot of nice pieces that he brings with him.
Yes, and he's got some really great pieces that he brings off the bench. He's rotated his starting lineup some, just conditional to really who he's playing, and so we've got a lot to contend with. They shoot the ball well. They're very strong. Madison Hart does an outstanding job at the post because she's so quick and so strong and can handle it, and she's mobile. And then you bring her sister in, who's played extremely well, can just go get a bucket for them when they need a bucket. And then you have Mickey Buchanan, who has just got that big, nice, athletic body. She's so athletic. She's quick. She shoots it. He's just got so many good pieces. And I think his freshman point guard has come in and just exceeded his expectations, and she's played extremely well for him.
You get that one Thursday at the Powell Center. On Saturday, you'll make the trip north to Georgetown, and for all of the great pieces around the league, Georgetown and Coach Jeff Nickel may have the most dynamic in Tiani McDaniel. She's wonderful in terms of getting up and down the court. She can score in the half court. You know how explosive she is. You did a really good job on her here at your place. You'll have to duplicate that on Saturday.
We will. You tell me this, and it just makes my head spin of what we have coming up. But they're going to be they're going to be hungry. Obviously, they dropped one that they probably feel like they shouldn't have dropped, and they're going to be even hungrier to get back on the right road. And we're a top 5 team. They need a top 5. Not that they don't need a top 5 win, but a top 5 win is always good for anybody. And they'll be ready to play. Jeff's always got his team ready to play, and man, oh man, they're an athletic bunch.
And you look at the post play that he's gotten from Izzy Lamparty, Trinity Clock, and some of that. That's a fun little cat and mouse with you guys, with Tyra Flowers, and obviously you've got the length with Maddie Nally. Whitney Hay will have to help out some there as well, and Talon. So that interior game is fun to kind of watch back and forth, because he knows how he wants to attack you. You know how you want to attack him. You've done it against one another for so long.
Yeah, I don't even know how many times we have played one another, but it is always very very intense. Our kids are always ready, always both ends ready to go. It really comes down to who's going to make the plays and who's going to be tougher in those situations. So we have to come out, and those kids they're just like you said, they're dynamic, and we have to, because that's a tough week for us. Coming from a Thursday Bethel game, which is going to be huge, to a Saturday game, and they're off Thursday, and they played on Monday, and they're off Thursday, so they'll be a little bit fresher than us, but that's basketball. That's part of it. We'll just have to tough it out. And
then one other note we wanted to touch on off camera, you and I were talking about it a little bit, but Carrie Ann Williams set the all-time rebounding mark at Edmonson County High School, and a future lady, she's a junior, set the all-time rebounding mark. So there's no telling where that's going to end up between now and next year.
You go ahead and say future Lady Tiger.
Future Lady Tiger.
Add
Carrie
that
Ann
on
Williams.
there. Yeah, we've already got that signed, sealed, and delivered. But we're so excited about her and what she brings to the table. And just a junior, she's going to be one of those kids that people talk about a long time. And I don't want to put any pressure on her, but she's Whitney Ballinger-ish. She's not like Whitney was. Whitney was small, played a point guard position, and then just grew. Carrie Ann's always had some height, and she doesn't have the handles Whitney had, but she's one of those complete scoring, rebounding, passing, blocking type players. So she can fill a stat sheet, and we're so excited just about everything with her, on the floor, off the floor. She's a good one.
And then Monday night, I believe Kobe Colvin had his first. He's running out of opportunities, and he picked the crosstown rivalry game against Campbellsville. He finally got that dunk. Most importantly, I think for Kobe, his Cardinals got a win.
Yeah, he did. Kobe's a great team player. He's really a great player. He's fun to watch. I just love his game. I love his just what he gives to his team. But he's my kid, and it's nice to see him have a little bit of a moment to shine. And he's been telling me, every high school boy wants to get that dunk. I mean, that's just a rite of passage, I guess, and they want that dunk. And he tried one time earlier on the road, and I think he surprised all of us. I think he surprised himself. But, it was good to see. And crosstown rivalry, the Campbellsville-Taylor County rivalry, those boys go play pickup with each other at nights, and then they go out on the floor and compete with one another. And I think one of the coolest moments was after he got his dunk, he went down on the other end and fouled out. But when he was walking by Anthony Epps, Campbellsville's coach, Anthony Anthony congratulated him.
Yeah.
And, I think people get so caught up in crosstown stuff sometimes they don't see the good stuff that goes on. And as a mom, for that opposing coach to say something to your kid, that meant the world to me.
And for you, certainly with your deep ties and affiliations
Yes.
with Campbellsville, a Hall of Famer from Campbellsville Independent School as a coach. So congratulations to Kobe. Best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, Matt.
Coach Ginger High Colvin and the Lady Tigers in action Thursday at the Powell Center. Check them out as they battle Bethel Saturday at Georgetown. It's a 1 o'clock start Saturday afternoon. I'll have coverage on 88.7 The Tiger. We'll step away, come back and visit with the head coach of the Tigers, Brent Vernon, here on Tiger Timeout. Welcome back as Tiger Timeout continues on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Thanks for joining us this week as we transition over to coverage of Tiger basketball, the men's team in action this past weekend. Matt Payton here with the head coach, Brent Vernon. Campbellsville at home Thursday, on the road Saturday. Freed Hardeman visited. They were number 1 in the country at the time, coach. They've dropped in the most recent poll. They had kind of a rough spell at Cumberland University last weekend as well, but it's a Freed Hardeman team that you and I have talked about. For the Tigers, it's one of the best teams in the country. It's also a difficult matchup the way that you're structured at the moment, and you put up a tough fight, but that's a really good basketball team.
They are. A very good. A lot of length and athleticism to their team. Defensively play a little different. Very physical, but they switch everything. They've got a very good defender in Gerardo Lane who guards a lot of the opposing team's best players. So he had Cam Vick a lot for the night, and his length at 6'5" makes it really tough for a player of Cam's size. So we had a hard time scoring the basketball. I thought defensively we were probably a 7 out of 10. We weren't awful. I mean, we held them to 70 points. It was just for us finding a way to score enough points, and it was a struggle for us that night.
Freed has been a team, and we use the term positionless basketball a lot, and it's one of the teams right now. They've kind of got that figured out, and it helps. They've got a Peyton Law who's a 6'7", strong athlete that can do many different things, but they've been able to kind of in conference, them and Georgetown right now stand out to me in that regard as two teams that have that positionless thing figured out at the moment.
They do. They don't really have. They'll normally always have a point guard on the floor, but after that, it's really scratch. They play a lot of guys in interchangeable positions. They run an offense that is really hard to scout because all of our teams know everybody's offenses. We play, we know when they make a call, we prepare for it. Well, they've got an odd way of doing it they're sort of in the football mode. They've got the whiteboards, they put the signs up, only their guys can really see it. As coaches, we can't see it. So it's on the fly of guarding, and it's just really a hard continuity to be able to defend. And I think we've done a really good job both times we played them doing that. But you can't really lock in on one or two things like you can some other teams. So you have to credit them for what they're doing and how they're doing it. Again, a very physical team on the defensive end, and a lot of it comes down to how that particular night is going to be called. And both times we've played them this year, it's obviously been a very physical game. And if there's not many free throw shots, it makes it a very tough game to play.
I'm glad you brought up the whiteboard because I wanted to be petty, and I got to thinking before I could make the comment on air. They just won the national championship, so I don't think I can call out. Nobody really does that in basketball. It is you go win a national championship. Yeah. I can't second guess anything you want to do.
You have a few coaches at levels because of the arena's so big and loud. They may hold something up, but they hold it up for everybody to see. They don't. Their guys are programmed. I mean, as soon as they get a rebound or the shots made on the opponent's end, they all look. They have an angle to where we can't read and see it, and they know exactly. And the hard part is there's always 3 or 4 words, so you can't really know. They may be going by the second. You don't know what the philosophy is of how to read what they're doing. So I give them credit. They've got us a little bit tricked right now, but again, I think our guys have really fought both times we've played them. We fought into those single digits and had chances. They've just done a great job of finding the way to get the big run against us.
Another Tennessee team on Saturday as the Tigers went to Lebanon, Tennessee, and fell to the Phoenix as we take a look at some of the numbers from Campbellsville's matchup with Cumberland University. 83-72 the final. Kobe Penny, a nice day for Campbellsville, 18-9. Taisha Epps had 11 points, and KJ Banks with 10-7 for Campbellsville. And Coach, that's a Cumberland team that they're kind of similar to you, a little light on pieces. They've got some injuries. Kai Wallace, who's a super athlete, ding for Coach Eric Evans. But, I got to tip my hat to them.
Oh,
Tristan Conger and Keyshawn Robinson have really improved their game to go with the Demarius Boyd. They just knocked off Georgetown on Monday after beating Freed Hardeman. Tip of the hat to Coach Eric Evans. He's got them playing some really good basketball.
Done a great job. One of the hottest teams in the league right now, and they're doing it playing 6 or 7 guys, which is very, very difficult. I mean, we know that firsthand. Demarius Boyd is as good of a difficult shot maker in our league that we have. I thought we did an incredible job of forcing him into tough shots, and he made big shot after big shot. Tristan Conger's done a really good job. Keyshawn Robinson just is a workhorse who just plays extremely hard and battles through things. So I give him a lot of credit. And then you have, I think it's Jalen Anglin, his first name. I know the last name. Sometimes the first names you get a little caught up, but he's come on extremely strong right now. First half of the season figuring it out, he has now. I know he had 27 against Georgetown. He had a good game against us. But again, they've got some length, athleticism, and then they've got that one guy in Demarius Boyd who can really make tough shots when the tough gets going. And I thought Javon Smith did an incredible job on him to contest it. It's just came up a little short.
We talked about this in the post-game Cumberland University, the game. You didn't shoot the 3 well, which obviously impacts it. But there was a stretch there of 6 to 8 possessions. Cumberland hit 4 or 5. Difficult, really kind of even poor shots, but they hit tough shots. Javon doing a great job. And you missed a basket or 2 down in the paint. And all of a sudden, instead of they miss a couple of difficult ones, you hit a couple of easy ones, you're in the hit pocket.
Yeah.
That little stretch allowed them to space it 8, 10, 12, and they kind of kept it there most of the day.
Yes, and that was 100% going back and watching the difference in the game. And I thought in that stretch, our offense flowed way better than theirs did. Like I said, they made 4 incredibly contested shots, and we made shots contested, but more at the rim. Some were open threes in transition. That we have fall, that we just didn't have fall that day. We were a little flat in the first half, but I thought second half our energy was good. We got some stops, but we never could get over that 7 or 8 point hump. And again, you tip your hat. We came in a little banged up. Obviously, Jay didn't get the start, ended up playing and giving us some good minutes. Cam still, we're a lot closer to 100% with Cam right now. Keyston Brown's still out. Taisha, I thought he did a really good job, but now we got to put him on the back burner. He's done for the year because of the game limit for the red shirt. So you lose one. You hope to get Keyston back for some minutes this week, but we're still unsure. But our guys are fighting. We're battling. We've had an unbelievable week of practice this week. So I'm proud of them because there's no quit in what they're doing, and our goal is to build and make some progress as we get prepared for the last 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, Tigers have 3 regular season games left, 2 of them this weekend. We'll step away. We'll come back and talk about the upcoming matchup with Bethel on Thursday at the Powell Center. Stay here on Tiger Timeout.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Final segment on this week's Tiger Timeout here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton with you as we take a look ahead for Campbellsville's Tiger basketball team at home Thursday. That's tomorrow against the Bethel Wildcats. And then Saturday they will hit the road, final road game of the year for Campbellsville as they visit the rival from up north, Georgetown. And Coach, as we take a quick glance at these two upcoming games, and we'll take a look at the numbers of this matchup with Bethel. They got you at their place. We talked about this last week. It was a Bethel that going into that game was kind of a run of bad luck. You had some sickness, some illness, injuries, all the things that could go wrong did go wrong. I know getting back at home, that goes a long way, and hopefully your guys are ready to get one back.
I think so. I mean, again, our guys have had a really good week, and we played Bethel at the absolute worst time. Played a really good free game on that Thursday night prior. With 4 minutes to go, Keyston goes down with his ankle injury that has sidelined him. Dalton was sick at the time. We wake up on Saturday, now Cam's sick, so we had two guys out. We had Dalton, who was going on fumes. Tashay played but had been out for over 2 months in a game situation. So it was one of those, going back and watching the film, it was sort of hard to watch. We weren't real good against Bethel at Bethel, and there were some issues and reasons behind that. But we can't use that excuse, and we have to be ready to go. And tomorrow's the first day of making a building block as we move forward.
The crazy thing about that game with Bethel, in terms of, I don't know, we'll try to put this nicely, not a great performance, right?
No, yes.
You still had a chance with 6 to 8 minutes, maybe even around the midway mark of the second half. Your guys made a run.
Yeah.
You were a basket away from getting that to single digits, or not single digits, but maybe a bucket. And they hit a big shot, maybe Joe Wimberly or somebody hit a big shot and kind of spread it back out. But you had a chance there.
We did. First half was really hard. Again, we throw Tashay out there, who had been a week of practice since his hand injury, had been out 2 months. And it goes from you're dressing for emergency issues to I need you to play as many minutes as possible. So offensively, we were definitely not our best, with Dalton being sick and recovering. Defensively, after a game like we had with Freed, we were no doubt tired and beat up. And defensively, the first half, we were probably a 4 of 10. Watching that film, watching it live, you knew it. Watching the film, you really saw it. Second half, we were easily the better team, more engaged. With 8 minutes to go, had cut it to 3. And it was actually Starr. Starr made a big 3 from the right wing to go to 6. But we were right there in fighting our way back. I feel very confident with our guys. Our guys are hungry. Cam is closer to 100%. I really believe if we had Cam or Keyston that day, we had a very good chance to come out on top of that. And we'll definitely have Cam. Hopefully we'll have Keyston as well, to where just having some more bodies available and stuff. So we'll see. But again, you've got to be able to put the bad behind us. And that's what we're really working on, because when things start spiraling a little bit, it becomes here we go again. And we can't have that mentality. We got to move on. And like I said, every day is a day for us to get better and build momentum.
And Bethel will be coming in riding a bit of a high as they knocked off Freed Hardeman last week. Campbellsville will try to get them Thursday night. Saturday, Georgetown, you'll go to the Davis Reed Alumni Gym, and I expect it to be 95 degrees in there again, but it's a tough place to play, and they certainly they buy into the home court advantage thing with the temperature.
They do, absolutely. And again, it's always a fun game there, a great game. Georgetown, Campbellsville is always a little chippy, and it has a little bit of an edge to it. So, we got to take it right now, one day at a time, and worry about Bethel. But no, we'll be prepared and ready for Saturday as well. Big test for us.
Coach, best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, Matt.
The Tigers in action following the Lady Tigers Thursday and Saturday coverage 5:30, or the Lady Tigers tip at 5:30 Thursday. Coverage begins at 5:15. Saturday, it's a 1 Eastern start for the women, and the guys follow at 3. For the head coach, Brent Vernon, as well as the head coach of the Lady Tigers, Ginger High Colvin, Matt Payton, we'll see you next time on Tiger Timeout.